Hello, it is me again, and this time I've changed the background slightly, a bit more moody, a bit more atmospheric, and you don't get flashbanged by my pale skin being reflected by the sunlight coming through the window, which I know you'll appreciate. Habits. When it comes to self-improvement, habits are just spoken about all the time. It's habits this, habits that, read Atomic Habits, have a habit tracker, just everything is about habits. And the thing is because our habits are profoundly important, because our habits are basically what form us, for lack of a better word. We are our actions, and if our actions are good ones, then we will be, in turn, kind of good, I suppose, or at least like positive and negative. If our habits are positive, then we'll have a more positive life, and if our habits are negative, we'll have a more negative life. That's pretty simple to really think about. The book, Outwitting the Devil, by Napoleon Hill, and we'll see if camera-wise, I don't know about cameras, but we'll see if this is looking the right way. In the book, Napoleon Hill speaks with the devil, like quite literally the devil, and the devil says this about habits. Habits come in pairs, triplets, and quadruplets. Any habit which weakens one's willpower invites a flock of its relatives to move in and take possession of the mind. Powerful. And you kind of think about it. Habits are not singular, which is probably the title of this video. Habits aren't singular things. And when we realize that by doing a habit, we kind of open the door to let its, relatives kind of come in, its habitual relatives to just flow in through the door as well. They're kind of led along on rope. Realize by opening the door for one, you open it for many, and you don't want these kind of small print add-ons to this singular habit you're going to do. And he says in the book, the devil says in the book, that it's ones that remove our willpower, ones that require no willpower, that break our willpower. Things like staying in bed, not exercising, playing video games for 9 hours, playing Balatro, good game by the way, but don't play it for 9 hours. The thing is, at what point do we say, okay, no, on the willpower, taking habits, and say, okay, what am I actually getting on top of this? Because playing an hour of video games isn't the end of the world if you are someone who's into self-improvement. I play and I get a lot of stuff done. I don't think they're mutually exclusive things, but the less willpower that you have, so these things taking away this willpower, then you're going to have a tough time doing other things. So if I'm there and I've got to study for an exam, and I'm like, nah, I'm just going to browse like Reddit for 5 hours, you've just destroyed your willpower. And from that, you've now opened the door for other things. So it's like, okay, you're just going to spend like 5 hours on Reddit, so you're not going to move a lot. Chances are you're going to be drained, you're not going to exercise. You might be staying up late because of it. You might not be waking up on time because of it. And these kind of bad habits, they come together. It's not just one thing, it's all the add-ons that we don't really think about, which kind of completely changes the ROI of doing a bad habit. So ROI is return on investment, which is kind of like a financial term, but it's used quite a lot in self-improvement. And if you think, oh, okay, I'm not gaining anything from this, chances are you might actually be losing a lot from it. And it's not to mean you can't occasionally have a pizza or you can't occasionally skip a workout. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is these things individually are fine. However, the more we skip our workouts, that reduces willpower. The more we have a takeout or fast food, that reduces our willpower on eating healthier things. The more we stay up late, that reduces our willpower on going to bed on time. If we get up late, stay in bed, hit snooze, so on and so forth. And we're going to bring all this kind of willpower destroying habits with it that we're unaware of until they're there. And then we eventually remove the one thing that we've been doing and realize that all the rest tend to go with it as well. But the thing is that this kind of law that one habit brings in lots more can actually be used for our benefit as well. So the devil says that in this book, the habits that destroy our willpower, they invite more. But then in theory, the habits that increase our willpower will therefore increase. So therefore, the ones that we do that increase our willpower will invite more habits of the same ilk. So if I get up on time and I get up at like 5 a.m., that requires a lot of willpower. I get up at 5 a.m., I'm not really going to be kind of drawn to browsing social media because it just feels like I've wasted that willpower to get up on time. If I exercise, chances are I'm probably going to actually start eating healthier, because if I'm putting in the effort to exercise, I might as well put in the effort to have a healthier diet that can support whatever my fitness goals are. And that's the thing. is that we can kind of manufacture or remanufacture this idea that one habit is actually like 5 in a trench coat, and say to ourselves, oh, okay, I've now got this one habit, working out, and now from working out, I've created this kind of cascade of other habits that come along with it for the ride. You open the door, you're like, oh, whoa, it's working out, that's cool. And he opens up the trench coat, he's not flashing you, don't worry. And there's healthy diet, better sleep, more discipline, and those extra things that also come as habits as well. So the example of working out more or working out regularly, you're going to have more willpower to do these habits of going to bed on time, getting up early, keeping up with your diet, maybe even doing other things like studying and stuff, because you've built up that willpower. You've done the habits that require willpower. You've built willpower by doing them. You have gained the attribute of having stronger will by simply doing the thing that requires having strong will. And then you get more things out of it naturally. So it's realizing that, yes, by doing a bad habit, you can kind of mess yourself up. That's why it's the concept of a slippery slope. That's why some people do say, if you're on self-improvement, never touch a video game. Because if you can't control yourself, if you don't have systems in place that allow you to think about it logically, you're gonna waste hours sapped into it, because that's what they're designed for. Same with social media. So most content online, you get sapped into it and you realize, oh, okay, that's a lot of time gone. And then because you've done this low willpower thing, more low willpower things are going to follow. And it's that cascade. But we can use this cascade positively, and we can also use it to kind of shut off negative things. Like, how many people out there do you know that watching this right now, you have a bad habit? And you could probably think, when you do that bad habit, another one forms. But when you don't do that bad habit, that second one doesn't form, like, at all. So for me, for example, if I don't get out of bed early, I'm likely to go onto my phone in bed on social media. But if I get up on time and I get up early, I don't touch social media for like 2-3 hours. And that's just because you've done a habit that's low willpower, and now I've gained another habit that's low willpower. But inversely, by doing a habit that is high willpower, or even requires willpower by default, I've then gained another habit with it, just naturally. And we can use this in a way to bolster ourselves up and understand that slumps, which I'm liable to have quite a lot, and some people do have them quite a lot, you get to this slippery slope point, and you're here, and you're going along, and you skip a workout, and then, you're playing video games like every single day for 3 hours, and then it just kind of drops off on the next low willpower habit that you start to build. But inversely, you start doing something good. So let's say getting up on time, and then I'm going to work out, and then I'm going to eat healthy, and then boom, skyrocket to the moon, Dogecoin. So this law, we should just use to our benefit, and also use it as a realization that, okay, the more I do this bad habit, the more bad habits are going to form with it. Is this bad habit itself worth it? Is the habit of regularly eating fast food worth having bad habits of not exercising, going on social media too much? These things that are interconnected. And I don't yet have the words or the kind of full-on range of knowledge to tell you how they're interconnected, but we know they are. We know they are through ourselves, because when we do one, the others follow. If I play video games for hours, like I did at university, I'm not going to be eating healthy. I want to eat something quick and easy so I can hop back on like the Call of the Duties and quickscope kids in my little Black Ops 3 sniping clan. It just doesn't work like that. And I believe there does need to be a kind of balance in the sense of relaxation and work. You need work and play. There needs to be balance there. I think there also needs to be a balance in the concept of good habits and bad habits, because ultimately it's one that defines the other in some kind of odd way. But we've got to make sure that we're not doing the bad habits all the time. So if we only did the good habits, if we never touched a video game, never watched a movie, and these things aren't even naturally bad, but it's making them habitual things that becomes bad. So let's say, you're playing video games all the time, watching movies, watching shows, anime, social media, all this stuff. You're spending so much time on consumption and bad habits, and you're not doing anything good or productive, and you're not improving yourself. You're going to feel like crap by default, but it just starts pulling more and more up. It's like you pull up a plant, and it's got all these roots, and it's like, man, I didn't even see those roots. They're all under the dirt. It doesn't mean they're not there. It's just you can't see them. Just because you can't perceive it doesn't mean it's not there. So you pull out this plant, sunflower or whatever, and all the roots are with it. But also in the same sense, you plant the seed and the roots grow through, which is the positive habits. So after this entire rambling, what am I trying to say? Basically, be very aware of the habits you cultivate. If you start cultivating bad habits, you're going to get a slippery slope very, very quickly, and that's what causes ruts. That's what causes slumps. Because people take a bad habit, they're normally on a downer anyway. They start picking up a bad habit, they start picking up another and another, and then boom, they hit a slump. Because they're not doing the things that give them positive willpower, but they're doing the things that give them negative willpower. So hopefully this rambling helped. Outwitting the Devil, very good book. I'd highly recommend. Take care, everyone.